How's it going, guys? Today we're going to be doing a vintage Submariner style build based off of I would say inspired by Rolex 5513. Uh, and Got the parts in. I'm ready to rock and roll. Let's do it. All right, so let's begin. So we got our movement here. I ordered an NH38 movement online from AliExpress. I like to get my movements from there a lot of times, and I'm just dumping it in my little thing here to work with. And there's our dial. I like the dial. It's like a tropical style Submariner dial, and I think it looked really nice. I think it looks really nice. It comes with, in order to fit it, it comes with these pegs that seat into the movement, and in order to correctly have it align and secure in the movement, you have to trim off extra ones that go to different movements, like the NH35, NH36 ones, or the 3 o'clock crown, and the 4.5 o'clock, the one that's like a little more skewed. So you trim those off, and I use that little bag, not to scratch the dial as I push it in, and everything seems like it's working. So I keep going from here. And now we got our hands here. We have Mercedes hands, which fit the Submariner aesthetic, as that's what we're going for, right? So this is a fun part. You're gonna start with the hour hand, and I use my tweezers and I align it. And once I align it, I take that red stick, and it has a little hole in the center, and a little bit of it's kind of like a ring shape, and it has a center hole, so the pinion in the center can go through it, and on the outside it pushes down on the hand, so you can push it down onto it. Um, so I've set the first one, which is the hour hand. It doesn't matter, but on one of the hours at least, right? So you want you want the minute hand and the hours hands to align. Yeah, so I go ahead and do the minute hand, and I try to get it exactly in line with the hour hand so that they work and read the correct time together. And the hardest part is the struggle. And to this day, I struggle with this. Is getting that second sand on there. This took about 5 minutes to do, but I'll cut the mess ups out because it's just gonna be a little tedious. So if this is your first time doing a Seiko, or any watch work, just be prepared for that second hand giving you a little trouble. Definitely be patient, and if you're doing it for the first time, I would maybe order a couple sets of hands. I know I messed up my first set, but anyways, it actually sits inside. It's like the opposite of the minute and hour hands where they go around the pinion. The seconds hand goes actually into the end. There's a hole in the end, and the seconds hands actually seats into that hole. So it's a very challenging, it's a very small hole. But yeah, once you get it in, um, I feel a lot better about my build at this point. Once I get this far, just a little bit of weight off. I like to say that seconds hands is usually my enemy. So and now we're just gonna clean out the case. So this is the big crown case. It's actually a Black Bay kind of case, and I was hoping to make more of like a Submariner Black Bay style look. And yeah, so just making sure there's no dust in there. And then the next step is to size the crown stem. And in order to have proper operation, this has to be sized correctly. Too long, and the crown won't screw down. Like, it'll be sticking out, and it'll look weird. And too short, and it won't be able to correctly actuate. All right, so let's see how this case looks on here. You can see we're missing the bezel insert still, so that'll be something to deal with. Just making sure there's no dust on it. Yeah, see, it's nice like that. Great. Looking good. Do a quick dump to make sure the movement gets in there. And so now the movement's not fully seated in here yet. So we're going to have to press it down. And we can be gentle while we do this. Don't want to press on certain areas. Want to keep away from the escapement, things like that. I usually just press on the center. Looks like it's seated in there. Nice. Good news. Which it's in there. It fits. Okay, so now comes sizing the crown stem. And so now the movement's in there. The crown stem is what goes from that crown in through the hole in the case and into the movement so we can control it and set the time. And there's a little button. It's hard to see, but if we press it, we can pull the crown out just like that. And then I'll take the crown off and I'll trim down the stem, put the crown back on the stem, and test it. And I do this kind of trial and error until I get the right size. And yeah, I use something like that. I need to get better tools, and I need to do this part better. Get some sandpaper maybe to file it, and it'll be a little bit. I could be a little more neat with this part, but I tend to just usually I usually mess up a few crown stems while I do this. So I'll go through a few stems. So you make sure you order extra whenever you buy parts. That's something. Unless you're really good, I'm not. And eventually you get the correct sizing, and eventually you get the right fit. After that, I'm usually feel pretty happy with where I'm at the build. You can see it's starting to look like a watch. Hands move, seconds runs. Things are lining up how I want them to. It's in the case. But I think I'm going to be having to change things here because I did make a mistake. So when I was ordering parts, I didn't order a case back. Quite a mistake. So at this moment, I kind of don't want to do a big crown with it anymore or whatever. Use a black bay case. That's not going to be that anymore. I decided I'll pack this up, come back in another day. Another day comes, and I realize I have an old vintage Submariner case that I've had for quite a while. I used it and I built something out of it, and then I took it apart to use the movement and everything for a different build, and just had this laying around. So I was like, let's make it really Submariner-y. Just I think it fits better in that. So less of a Black Bay kind of hodgepodge and straight Submariner. All right, so this is more of a Submariner. This is more of a sub, if you ask me. And this came with a nice jingly bracelet. It's not the best, but it is kind of accurate to what I feel like this would have been in the back in the day. Quick pop into place. All right, and make sure it's in those holes. Sometimes you get them in there, but they don't seat into the holes. So I usually move it around a little bit just to make sure it's in there. All right, looks like those are good. So the bracelet is on. This watch is looking done to me. I just got to size the bracelet up, which I'll take care of. This one has screws in it, so it's pretty simple. Just a small screwdriver. You can take out some links and adjust it accordingly. This looks nice. I like the way this fits. It's pretty cool, huh? Good old vintage sub. It's like a 5513. We're gonna get some shots of it outside. But look at that acrylic crystal looking very cool. Got that bubble look. It's very bubbly. Um, yeah, this come out really nice. I like this with the tropical dial, and the faded patina. It really matches the vintage look of the acrylic crystal and the style of this watch. This is pretty much what I think this is what this dial was made to do, right? It's made to go in this kind of case. So yeah, I like the way this looked. This looks. Look at that dial. So yeah, everything all in all, this is a pretty good build. I'm liking that now I have a vintage Submariner style watch, and I saved probably $20,000 on it. These are very expensive if you find one tropical dial and vintage of this era. They are not cheap. They are rare, hard to find, and when you do find them, they are priced insane for what you get. And I would never want to wear it because it's delicate. I wouldn't feel safe wearing this. So I can wear this, not worry about it. It cost them, 100, $200 to build, and just the quality is kind of, I feel like, on par with what you would have gotten back in the day. The case and the bracelet definitely not the nicest, but this is kind of similar to what you would have gotten in the time period. So, anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I appreciate you guys spending your time and hanging out with me while I built this vintage sub. Anyways, take care.